So basically it says a clean-cut, handsome-looking psychiatric patient. What? Hold on, I'm sorry. I've never heard someone do such a build-up when they're describing a psychiatric patient. Hi guys, I am back with part 2 of my favorite lifetimes. Now the first one was a little bit odd for people that have been following my channel for a long time, but I love lifetimes. What can I say? You know, and I have notes again this time, and I'm not ashamed this time. I've also got something in my eye. I thought this would provide something again for us to continue to do during lockdown. I made a second list because I got cut off the first time as I was talking about Obsessed from 1992 with Shannon Doherty, and I thought that I would just pick up this time with another list and just kind of conclude my all-time favorites. So the first section of this will be ones you can find on YouTube again, and then the second section contains about 4 movies that are not free to my knowledge, but they're very good. So if you can catch them on the Lifetime Movie Club, if you can catch them on the Lifetime Movie Club or Prime or anywhere else that they may show up, I would highly recommend them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to put trigger warnings up again wherever I feel that they're pertinent. Hopefully I cover all my bases here. But number 1 is Sleeping with the Devil from 1997 with Shannon Doherty and Tim Matheson. The description is a woman recovering from a domestic violence relationship finds out her former partner still wants her, even if it means killing her. They summed that up really nicely. Without giving too much away, Tim Matheson is usually a creep in a lot of these movies. He's really not a person that you root for, except for that movie where he got buried alive. He didn't really deserve that. This movie, though, is it takes off really quickly, I think. You don't have to sit around waiting for something to get interesting. I think it does. It's got a pretty quick start, and then you never quit. Like you're on the edge of your seat. I couldn't even force myself to pause it to go to the bathroom. So it was really, really good. And it's got a really good ending, I might add. I always love the good endings. So that's the first one. The next one is The Stranger Beside Me from 1995 with Tiffany Thiessen and Eric Close. Eric is one of my favorite actors in general, but in this movie he is chilling, which I guess speaks to his talent. But I'm going to be careful with this. I'm going to rephrase the description. There is a person committing sexual assault plaguing a neighborhood. Now a young newlywed suspects that her new husband may be the one doing this. Chills all around. This is one of the best acted Lifetimes, I think, ever. And I was going to include this in part 1, but I kept feeling like it was a little bit too dark. It's not dark for me because of the sexual assault or the peeping Tom or the, that aspect, but it is extremely haunting in terms of the psychological warfare that's going on between the victim and the person committing this. It's like if you've ever been in a situation where you feel you're in the middle of a mind game, then this might make you a little bit anxious. This is basically, the couple gets married after knowing each other only a short amount of time, and then they move to a Navy base where everything is new, and there's a lot of action. It's also got a young Allison Hannigan in it, and Gerald McRaney, who I think is really good, especially when he's like a father figure. Love him as that, but he's going to be in another one coming up soon, and he's the anti to what I just described. Anyway, The Stranger Beside Me is very, very good. Okay, the third one is For My Daughter's Honor from 1996. This one has Gary Cole and Nicole Tom from The Nanny. It says, in Tate, Oklahoma, a popular coach, Pete Nash, is accused of having a sexual relation with 14-year-old Amy, one of his school's pupils. Yikes. I thought she was older than that in the movie. Not that it makes it any better. She looks like 6, 17, 18. I don't know. This is it definitely keeps your attention, and basically from the get-go there's very much probably a deficit in her life or whatever, and she starts to receive attention from her coach / teacher, and it feels good. I mean, it feels like something she kind of wants until she doesn't, but then she doesn't know how to get out of it, you know what I mean? So it's one of those kinds of things. But it's good, it shows a lesson. And when things start to hit the fan, again, people aren't believing things. I hate when people don't believe things. It's so hard for her to get validation of the fact that something actually went wrong, you know what I mean? And so it's a good story about that. It is uncomfortable though, I have to say that. It's just kind of, you should read the YouTube comments. Okay, the next one is Deadly Vows from 1994 with Gerald McRaney and Josie Bissett. So I mentioned Gerald in The Stranger Beside Me. He was really good in that. But he was a very nice, you know, benevolent, just father figure type guy. And in this one, he's definitely not. Basically, a young woman meets an older married man who's a truck driver, and he's living out his fantasy basically as a lethal ladies man. The story just keeps going, and it says that he'll stop at nothing, ending in bigamy and eventually murder, which I don't remember that part. I don't have, it's been a while, but it's a really good one. And it's not, I don't know that there's anything in it that I would call particularly triggering. It's just a fast-paced story where someone will stop at nothing to continue their, you know, obsession. And it's, again, I don't think you can put it down. It's a pretty fast-paced story compared to a lot of them anyway, so I'd recommend. The next one is The Killing Secret from 1997. This has got Ari Myers and Soleil Moon Frye. Did I butcher that? This is about, let me see, which is the best description of this. Rich and popular Greg Dunleavy's bright future is threatened by the revelation that Emily, a girl from the wrong side of the tracks, is pregnant with his child. Emily wants to keep the baby, but Greg has other ideas. After Emily disappears, Greg's girlfriend Nicole Voss becomes close to Emily's mother. When Emily's found murdered, Nicole begins to piece together evidence that points to Greg as the killer. And it's mostly focused on the girlfriend Nicole and her friends and all that, and her trying to piece this together as she becomes really good friends with the victim's mother. So it's kind of a sweet relationship between her and the victim's mother. So it's kind of more like that's her own mother. So sometimes you find no, not at all. So I think that was nice as well. But it's just one of those that is pretty darn good and is not boring and moves along pretty quickly and has a pretty good resolution at the end. Okay, the next one is She Fought Alone from 1995. This one has got Tiffany Thiessen again and Brian Austin Green. It's also got David Lipper, the guy that played Viper on Full House. If that means anything. Anyway, in this one he's a total skis. But it says a girl finds herself shamed in her small rural town after being sexually assaulted by a football player. It's always a freaking football player. What's up with that? Her boyfriend, her mother, and her lawyer all try their best to protect her, but will the local high school do anything to stop the harassment? I don't know. Will they? In these movies, they usually don't, but you'll have to watch it to find out. It's one of those, again, it's really good, especially because of Tiffany. She carries the whole thing. I mean, everybody else's acting is good too, but again, she does exactly what you would want her to do in the situation, just like she did in The Stranger Beside Me. So I like these roles that she's in. They're very empowering. And, you know, this one, yeah, I'd say it moves along quickly as well, and it's a definite good watch here on the old YouTube. Okay, the next one is Video Voyeur, the Susan Wilson story. This one is from 2002, but it's still here for free, and I'll put it in the description. This one's got Angie Harmon and Dale Midkiff. It says, after becoming a victim of video voyeurism, a Louisiana woman fights for justice. This is a really good one. I watched this the other night, and I haven't seen it since I was maybe in my late teens or something. I used to have like Lifetime movie marathon days where I'd sit around and eat pizza and watch Lifetimes. It's hard to imagine, I know, but used to do it all the time. And I forgot how dang good this one is. It's based on a true story, and Angie's very good in this. And Dale Midkiff is, again, one of my favorite actors, and he's the perfect, like, encouraging, loving husband, and you start to admire his patience after he's been through this hellish situation, because I don't know a lot of people that could stay that calm. There is a guy that she knew from high school that I think that was a bit obsessed with her then, and they find out after a while that she's been being watched during intimate moments, in the bathroom, whatever else, and it's not just her that's a victim. So as you see the widespread effect of how this is, you know, plagued other people's houses and stuff like that, it becomes it's creepy, but I wouldn't say there's anything in here potentially that triggering. It's a really good sort of dramatic story to watch without feeling like it's too heavy or anything. It's like, it's the perfect watch if you want something Lifetime but you don't know what to watch. The acting is very good all around. The guy that's doing this is super. You just want to, but you know, I'll leave what happens for you to find out. And the last one in this category is called Stalked from 1994. It's got Miriam Diabo and Jay Underwood. I only know of the woman. I don't really know who Jay Underwood is. I hope he's not watching this. It's not an LMN channel movie, but it was a made-for-TV movie, and it's here for free as well. But it's very much Lifetime-esque. I mean, yeah, it fits. Don't worry. This one is about a psycho mother's boy. So basically it says a clean-cut, handsome-looking psychiatric patient. What? Hold on, I'm sorry. I've never heard someone do such a build-up when they're describing a psychiatric patient. But it says, handsome-looking psychiatric patient Daryl Gleason finds himself hopelessly falling in love with a restaurant owner named Brooke Daniels after having instinctively rescued her little son Mikey from a tragic accident. They include too many names in these, don't they? When she doesn't return his love, he snaps and begins to stalk her, eliminating all who stand in his way. Yeah, probably so. I mean, yeah, he's a really good stalker. It usually always is a mother's boy, isn't it? Why is that? I need to look into that. Note to self. A little dark, but I mean, things end up okay in the end. That's what we want, right? Okay, so for side B, shall we say. These are the movies that are not free, but I love them so much. I have to mention them just in case you're looking for something else somewhere else to take your focus if you've gone through all the other ones. This one's called Ties That Bind from 2006 with Nicole DeBoer. Okay, and Brian Krause from Charmed. A young married couple find their relationship and their lives threatened after a beautiful and dangerous seductress moves into their pool house. Yeah. Basically, they take on a mortgage that they kind of slightly can't afford because they're like, oh, we'll just have somebody rent the pool house. It'll be perfect, honey. And then, woo, things go downhill very quickly. A woman gets in there. Oh, okay, we got cut off. Something's here trying to derail me. Anyway, so the woman moves in and she's obsessed with the husband. And every time the husband rejects her advances, she's trying to think of something else she can do to sabotage their lives at home, like to disrupt their peace. So anyway, it's really good. It has a good ending, but it's one of those that, yeah, I love a good home wrecker movie. That sounds absolutely horrible. Please don't ever. The next one is Love Thy Neighbor from 2006 with Alexandra Paul. A woman moves to a gated community following a violent home invasion, but encounters sinister problems with her new neighbor. I'll put a couple trigger warnings because the people that I've introduced to this one, they're kind of like, ooh, yeah, that is creepy. The first one is a home invasion, and it's pretty like loud and noisy, and it's saying that is anxiety-inducing. It's more the psychological thriller part of the woman being so insane and issuing these creepy warnings and punishments and stuff. That's probably the worst trigger. So I will say that that's the trigger warning there. But again, it has a good ending. Alexandra Paul's like a super heroine. Just anyway, love her in this. It's really good. Next one is Inconceivable from 2016 actually with Marguerite Moreau, a guy named Jason Gerhardt. Okay, again, I hope he's not watching this. Why would he be? Come on, Kristen. And Natasha Henstridge. She's always so good as these crazy women. Lord, I love her. I think she comes from Canada. They got a lot of talent there. It says, a woman interprets a kiss at a high school reunion as an invitation to follow her ex across the country and stalk and supplant his current family. That she does. That she does. This one is so good because he cheats, but yet some people might not consider it cheating. I definitely do. But I mean, he basically realizes that he made a mistake after he kisses her. And then she's stalking him, but he can't put his foot down, which is probably his whole problem, which is probably why his family is kind of unraveling at the seams because he needs to grow a bit of a backbone. But she does a number, and it's even the son and daughter of the family, like everybody's in on the action and everyone's in the fight for their lives at the end. So it's just like one of the best modern day Lifetimes. So I had to put it in there. It's very much like Obsessed with Beyonce and Idris Elba, but it just kind of has that feeling. Of course, it's not the same thing, but I'd say it moves along almost as quickly. It's pretty good. Hey, and the last one, I'm gonna try to just type as I talk, which good luck, is Another Woman's Husband from the year 2000 with Gail O'Grady, Lisa Rinna, and again Dale Midkiff. So basically it says, charming ladies man Johnny Miller, here they go again with the full names, is bored with his still committed wife, swimming instructor Susan. Until the bachelor alias, Jake Miller, what? Oh, under the bachelor alias Jake Miller, he has a relationship with psychologist Laurel MacArthur. Well, can she figure him the hell out? Who has aquaphobia since she witnessed her brother drowning 25 years ago. When Laurel joins Susan's class, the women bond immediately and discover that they have something more in common. I embellished that because that was not a good description. Anyway, that's basically what happens. Two women joining forces to kick somebody's tail. Yes, we love it. Yeah, it's just good. It's a drama more than anything. It's not like it's a thriller or anything or super fast paced, but you definitely, I mean, it's fun to watch. It's engaging to watch. And the wife that he has, that he's cheated on, she's very demure and like, just kind of like listless life, doesn't not have a lot of motivation or know where she's going, and you can tell she doesn't love herself very much, but that all really changes throughout the movie and the friendship with the other woman and all that. I guess it was the other woman before the other woman with, you know, Kate Upton. And anyway, it is what it is. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Yeah, I just thought I would throw out something else that might entertain some folks. So with that said, have a great day and I'll see you next time.